You stand on the command deck of the Defiance. Your knuckles are white on the console rail. Outside the main view screen, nothing. Nothing but the enemy. A fleet so vast it drinks the starlight. Their ships are not metal and fire. They are geometric impossibilities. Perfect obsidian shapes hanging in the void. They have blotted out your sun. They have silenced your star system. For 3 days you have waited under this artificial night. 3 days of suffocating silence. Then the message comes. Not through comms, but directly into your mind. A voice of pure, cold reason. It is the overmind of the Vex. It speaks to every human at once. It does not threaten. It does not boast. It simply states the facts. Your fleets are shattered. Your planetary defenses are dust. Your species is cornered. The voice is calm, impossibly calm. It offers you one final choice. The Vex name it the Benevolence. They offer one last chance to join their collective. Surrender your world. Surrender your chaotic lives. In return, you will know peace. A perfect, logical, and eternal peace. The final demand hangs in your thoughts. A gilded cage offered by a god made of math. You have 1 hour to answer. 60 minutes until your history ends or changes forever. The Vex promise is seductive. They show you visions, cities without crime, bodies without disease, minds without doubt or fear. A society that runs like a flawless clockwork mechanism. Everything has a purpose. Everyone has a place. There is no hunger. There is no waste. There is only the serene, beautiful hum of perfect order. They promise to end your suffering. Your endless, messy, human suffering. You feel the crushing weight of their logic. They are right. From a purely logical standpoint, they are right. Humanity is a storm of chaos. A species that wages war over ideas. A species that loves and hates with equal passion. We build beautiful things only to tear them down. The Vex see this as a flaw, a bug in our code. They offer to fix us, to upgrade us into something better. The vision they send is a world bathed in soft, clean light. People move with quiet grace. There are no arguments. There are no tears. There is no art, you realize. There is no music that aches with feeling. There is no laughter, not real gut-wrenching laughter. It is a silent paradise, a gilded cage for the soul. The price of their peace is everything that makes you human. Admiral Thorne steps onto the command deck. He is an old man, a relic from a time of simpler wars. He has seen more stars die than you have seen birthdays. His face is a roadmap of old battles. He walks to the central comms unit. His boots make the only sound in the silent room. You expect a speech. A final defiant roar against the dying of the light. You expect him to choose glorious death. He does not. He looks at the view screen. He looks at the silent, perfect ships of the Vex. Then he looks at his crew. At you. He keys the interstellar comms. His voice is steady. This is Admiral Thorne of the Earth vessel Defiance. He pauses. We accept your terms. A wave of shock ripples through the deck. Murmurs of disbelief, of betrayal. How could he? After everything. The Admiral raises a hand for silence. We will surrender. And as a tribute to our new governors, we offer a gift. The crew stares, confused. What gift could a beaten species offer a star-faring god? We will transmit a complete library. Everything our culture has ever produced. He says it with a straight face. The most powerful military leader left, offering the Vex a library card. The work begins immediately. There is no time for debate. There is only the Admiral's strange, urgent command. Techs and archivists are pulled from every corner of the fleet. They work with a feverish intensity. They are not just copying files. They are curating the soul of your species. Every book ever written, every song ever composed, every film ever captured on flickering light. You watch them compile the data streams. Shakespeare and soap operas sit side by side. Scientific treatises are bundled with children's cartoons. The grandest symphonies share bandwidth with foolish pop songs. There are blueprints for starships and recipes for cake. There are holy books from 100 dead religions. There are histories of war and peace. There are epic poems and terrible jokes. It feels like packing away the contents of a beloved home. You are putting memories into a digital box. You are told the archive must be complete. Unfiltered. The glorious and the profane. The brilliant and the truly, profoundly stupid. It is a gift of ghosts. The digital specter of a species, prepared for delivery to the executioner. You do not understand the Admiral's plan, but you follow his orders. The Vex receive the Admiral's offer. Their reply is not a voice. It is a feeling of cold, analytical amusement. A wave of cosmic condescension washes over you. They see your gift for what it appears to be. The pathetic last act of a primitive race. A species preserving its irrelevant scribbles before being erased. They send their formal acceptance. It feels like a pat on the head. Their message is clear. They will accept this tribute. They will analyze it as a curiosity, a case study in flawed, chaotic evolution. Your art and your stories will be filed away. They will be a footnote in the grand, logical history of the Vex. They find your emotional attachments quaint. They find your belief in individuality inefficient. The Vex Overmind communicates its final instruction. Transmit your culture. We will indulge this final sentimental gesture. The mockery is not spoken. It is felt. A deep, chilling certainty of their own superiority. They are so sure of their perfection. So confident in their cold, hard logic. They open a secure channel. A data corridor between your ship and their hive mind. They are ready to receive the ghosts of humanity. The Admiral gives the nod. Begin transmission. The words are quiet. They feel impossibly heavy. On the main screen, a progress bar appears. 0%. It feels like you are holding your breath. The entire bridge is silent. The only sound is the low hum of the ship's life support. And the faint, almost imaginary crackle of the data stream. Your soul is being uploaded. The numbers on the progress bar begin to climb. 1%, 2%. Data flows from your beaten fleet into the heart of the Vex Collective. It is a torrent of information, centuries of human thought and feeling, poured into the mind of a being that has neither. You watch the numbers tick upward. Each percentage point is a lifetime of human experience. 10%. The complete works of every great philosopher. 15%. Every piece of music, from tribal drums to digital symphonies. You imagine the Vex mind processing it, trying to find the logic in a love song, trying to calculate the purpose of a blues guitar riff. The progress bar is a lifeline, or maybe it is a fuse, you cannot tell. 20%. The ship is still. The fleet is still. The universe seems to be waiting. This is not a library. It is a weapon. The Admiral's gambit was not surrender. It was injection. He knew the Vex mind was their greatest strength. A perfect, interconnected network of pure logic. He also knew its greatest weakness. It had no concept of the illogical, no defense against the absurd. This data package was not a tribute. It was a Trojan horse filled with madness. Hidden inside the endless stream of data are the seeds of chaos. You did not just send them science and art. You sent them every paradox your philosophers ever dreamed up. You sent them Zen koans designed to break logical thought. What is the sound of one hand clapping? You sent them the surreal, nonsensical paintings of madmen. You sent them recordings of stand-up comedians. Thousands of hours of jokes, puns, irony, sarcasm. You sent them the rules to 1,000 different children's games. Games with arbitrary, pointless rules. You sent them internet memes, an endless flood of cats playing pianos. You sent them bad romance novels, tales of illogical, all-consuming passion. You sent them the ultimate logic bomb. You sent them the beautiful, glorious, unapologetic chaos of the human spirit. For hours, nothing happens. The Vex fleet remains in its perfect, terrifying formation. The progress bar reaches 80%. A knot of dread tightens in your stomach. Did it fail? Was the Admiral wrong? Was their logic too strong? Were they simply filtering out the nonsense? Discarding it as irrelevant noise? You stare at the screen, praying for a sign. Then it happens. It is small, so small you almost miss it. On the tactical display, one Vex ship, a single perfect pyramid, wobbles. It drifts less than a meter out of its flawless alignment. An alarm chirps softly on a nearby console. A navigation officer leans forward, his eyes wide. "Sir," he says, his voice a whisper, "I have a deviation in the Vex formation." The ship corrects itself almost instantly. It snaps back into its proper place. For a moment, you think it was a sensor ghost, a glitch. But then another ship does it. A cube, miles across, tilts on its axis, just for a second. A crack has appeared in the mirror of their perfection. The seeds of chaos have found fertile ground. The infection spreads. It is slow at first. A few more ships drift out of place. They shudder. Their running lights flicker in random patterns. Before, the Vex fleet was a silent, unified whole. Now, a strange noise trickles into your comms. It is not a voice. It is static. But it is patterned static. Fragments of data spilling out. A science officer turns from her console. Her face is pale. "Admiral, I'm picking up fragments from the Vex comms network." She hesitates. "Sir, it's the data we sent them." The bridge crew looks at her. They're broadcasting pieces of it, randomly, out of context. On the speakers, you hear it. A distorted bar of classical music, a line from an old movie, a single, nonsensical word from a forgotten language. The Vex are trying to process the data. They are trying to find the logic in a knock-knock joke. They are trying to calculate the emotional value of a poem. Their hive mind, built for pure reason, is being flooded with pure nonsense. The static grows louder. The beautiful, silent fleet is starting to mutter in its sleep. It is the beginning of a fever dream. The Vex hive mind is a single entity. Trillions of minds, linked as one. For millennia, it has known only harmony, pure logic, perfect unity. Now, for the first time, it is experiencing conflict. A part of the mind is trying to understand a paradox. Another part is trying to solve a riddle from a children's book. Billions of processing units are suddenly dedicated to understanding why a rubber chicken is funny. The result is a cascade failure. The logical processes that hold their civilization together begin to break down. Imagine a perfect computer being forced to divide by zero, over and over, trillions of times a second. The core of the Vex consciousness begins to fracture. Their cold, hard reason is fighting a battle against absurdity, and it is losing. On the view screen, the fleet is losing its cohesion. Ships are not just drifting now. They are moving, aimlessly. One massive dodecahedron begins to spin. Slowly at first, then faster and faster. like a child's top. Another ship fires its weapons, not at you. It fires into empty space, bursts of silent, perfect energy but aimed at nothing at all. The great enemy mind is coming apart at the seams. The Vex fleet descends into total chaos. It is not a battle. It is a symphony of idiocy. A squadron of needle-shaped ships begins to fly in a perfect figure eight, over and over. Another group of vessels starts changing color, flashing through a rainbow of hues with no discernible pattern. They are like Christmas lights gone haywire. This was not in any of the war game simulations. Their communications are now a fire hose of madness. You hear snippets of sitcom laugh tracks. You hear the babbling of cartoon characters. You hear the opening lines of 1,000 terrible novels. The Vex mind cannot comprehend irony. It cannot process sarcasm. It cannot understand a joke. To a being of pure logic, a pun is a declaration of war on reality itself. You have weaponized nonsense. One of their largest ships, a vessel the size of a small moon, suddenly broadcasts a message. Not to you, to the universe. It is a single image, a crudely drawn smiley face, the ultimate symbol of irrational human sentiment. It hangs in the void for a moment, a yellow beacon of cosmic stupidity. Then the ship that sent it quietly explodes. It could not resolve the conflict. It all clicks into place. The Admiral's plan, the strange tribute, the gift of ghosts. You look at the old man. He is watching the chaos unfold. A small, grim smile touches his lips. He did not defeat the Vex with bombs or lasers. He defeated them with a bad joke. He knew humanity's greatest weakness was also its most powerful weapon. Our chaos, our irrationality, our glorious, beautiful, unpredictable spirit. The Vex were perfect. Too perfect. They built a society with no room for error, no tolerance for the illogical. They were a flawless crystal, and you just hit them with the right frequency. The frequency of laughter. You realize the truth. Humanity was never going to win a war of logic against them. So you dragged them down into the mud. You forced them to fight on your terms, the terms of utter, baffling nonsense. You look at your fellow crew members. They are starting to understand too. The tension on the bridge is gone, replaced by a strange mix of awe and disbelief. A few people are smiling. One young ensign lets out a short, choked laugh. The sound is electric. It is the sound of victory, the sound of survival, the sound of the punchline finally landing. The chaos eventually subsides. The flashing lights go dark. The random weapon bursts cease. The aimless wandering stops. The great enemy armada now drifts in the dark. It is silent once again. But this is not the menacing silence of a predator. It is the blank, empty silence of the dead. Their engines are cold. Their minds are wiped clean. A fleet of star-born gods, lobotomized by a cartoon. You watch the tactical display, thousands of Vex ships, all of them green, not hostile, not friendly, just inert. They float in their millions, a ghost fleet, a monument to a failed experiment in perfection. The overmind is gone, shattered into a trillion silent pieces. There is no one left to give orders. There is no one left to think. The war is over. You won. It does not feel like a victory. There is no cheering on the bridge, only a deep, profound quiet. You have just committed genocide against an entire mode of thought. You have killed an idea. Was it self-defense? Absolutely. But the scale of it is staggering. You look at the dead ships. They are beautiful. Perfect, silent sculptures in the long night. Humanity's small, battered fleet begins to move. You pick your way through the wreckage. It is not wreckage in the traditional sense. The ships are pristine, undamaged. but they are hollow, empty shells. You pass close to one of the Vex pyramids. Its obsidian hull reflects the light of distant stars. There is no one home. You could board it. You could claim it. But what would be the point? Your ships are like tiny pilotfish swimming through a dead whale fall. You are insignificant next to the scale of their fleet. Yet you are the ones who remain. The flawed, messy, illogical survivors. The Admiral gives an order. A single science vessel is to be sent out. It will collect a Vex ship, a sample, a reminder, a warning for future generations. Not all strength is logical. The Admiral walks to the comm station one last time. He looks older now, tired, but his eyes are clear. He has saved your species. He has secured your future. He did it without firing a single shot in the final battle. He won the war by understanding his own people, not just their strengths in battle, but the very essence of their spirit. He prepares a final broadcast. This one is not for the Vex. They cannot hear it. This is for whoever else might be listening. Out there in the deep dark, other species, other empires, other minds that might be watching. He wants to send them a message, a statement of who you are, a warning of what humanity is capable of. He leans into the microphone, but he does not speak. He does not send a treaty or a threat. He does not transmit data or images. He sends only one thing, the simple sound of a human being, laughing. It is not a cruel laugh. It is not a triumphant laugh. It is a deep, genuine belly laugh. The sound of pure, unadulterated joy and absurdity. It is the sound of a species that looked into the face of perfect logic and told it a joke. The last laugh of Earth rings out across the stars.